This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Hey everyone, it's Lyla of the Mini Witch. Today I want to share something that's been on my mind lately. The guilt of unfinished projects. After everything that happened to me at the start of 2024, I finally feel like I'm getting back to my old self. But there's still one thing hovering over my head. Unfinished projects. Specifically, this bust that I promised that I would teach my patrons how to paint. Instead of continuing to push this model out of my mind and allowing guilt to fester, I have instead decided to embrace a new motto. Done is better than perfect. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, ashamed, or just frustrated with a model, then this video is for you.
So let's talk about how to get our models off our desk and find joy in painting again. Personally, I find myself falling into the trap of perfectionism pretty frequently. And perfectionism has been my biggest hurdle on this project. I want my work to be flawless, and anything less feels like a failure. Especially for this piece, as people are paying me to learn to paint it. But the truth is, this mindset can hold us back and rob us of the joy that comes with creating. So before we begin, we have to accept that it isn't going to be perfect. It might not even be good, and that's okay. But let's talk about workflow. One of the first things I'm doing is breaking this project down into manageable steps. Looking at the bust as a whole can be overwhelming. There's just so much to paint. So instead, I'm focusing on one step or part of the model at a time, without worrying about making each part perfect. Just complete. First, I'll tackle the skin, which I've actually painted twice already, so this part is easier for me than usual. Then I'm moving on to the shirt. By focusing on the larger areas first and then whittling down to the smaller details, this project is becoming less daunting. And by working large to small, I can at any time decide I'm done painting a certain element, and at the very least, it will have paint on it. Of course, I'm still a perfectionist at heart, so one of the things I'm really leaning on is using faster techniques. First, I'm relying heavily on the airbrush, which I normally don't do for Patreon videos. I'm starting by roughing in my colors with a brush for better control, then I'm blending the layers with the airbrush. This method saves me from the painstaking process of glazing, making the whole thing so much quicker. For you, it might be different. Maybe you prefer using speed paints or dry brushing to save time. The key is to find techniques that help you move forward without getting bogged down in perfection. Speed paints can give you great results fast, and dry brushing can add texture and highlights quickly. By adapting these faster techniques, I'm able to enjoy the painting process more and feel less stressed about achieving perfection. It's really hard to have speed and perfection at the same time, so re-strategizing my goals will make a big difference in my mindset towards this piece. Remember, the goal is to finish and find joy in the process, not create a masterpiece. And yes, on my scale, this is not a masterpiece. Miniature painting can be hard, but creating a stunning website is easier than ever with Squarespace's new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally crafted layouts, customize them to reflect your style quickly, and utilize Squarespace's drag and drop fluid engine for enhanced control. Seamlessly integrate your social media and accelerate your growth with integrated, optimized SEO tools. Seriously, Squarespace Blueprint is magic, and I can only dream of army painting one day being this easy. So whether you're selling online courses, physical products, or just showing off your work, get some time back for falling in love with your hobby by using Squarespace. When you're ready to start, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code LYLAMEV to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, back to painting. Another great way to focus on done over perfect is to set a timer. Give yourself a set amount of time for each part of the model, and when the timer goes off, move on. This helps you avoid getting bogged down in details and keeps you moving forward. If that doesn't work for you, try setting a timer to go off every 20 or 30 minutes. This isn't a move on timer, it's a you've been painting for 20 minutes timer. This will help you keep better track of your time and decide if the effort you're putting in is worth it. Using a timer adds urgency and boosts productivity. It helps you make quicker decisions and stay in the flow, making the painting process more enjoyable and efficient. Another great trick is to decide what areas are important, focus on those, and then skip as much as you can for everything else. My go-to elements are the face and anything your model is holding, but in general, the top half of the model is really where you should be spending your time. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on this, check out this video here. On this model, I'm going to focus on her face as well as her lute and the cat. Everything else will still get painted, but I need to cut corners somewhere. So the fabric, her arms, just not gonna get as much detail.
On the other side of the spectrum, perhaps you haven't even started your project and you're staring at a piece of gray plastic, too afraid to start for fear of failure. Unfortunately, the best way to face that is just to start. The reality is, we all make mistakes, but we learn from them. Finishing a project helps you overcome perfectionism and allows you to see your improvement. Once you complete something, you'll feel more comfortable and confident, and you'll be ready to tackle your next project. Or maybe once you're done, you'll find the inspiration to rework your project and improve it. Remember, you can always make changes, but you have to start to have something to improve upon.
Most importantly, be kind to yourself. We are our own worst critics, and it's easy to get discouraged. I could no doubt spend eternity on this model, but for my own mental health, it just isn't worth it. This is supposed to be fun, and allowing unfinished work to haunt you will only make you resent your hobby. So celebrate your progress no matter how small. Each finished project or element is a step forward, and that's something to be proud of. So I'm focusing on the mantra, done is better than perfect. Finish those projects, have fun during the process, and find joy in your hobby again. Last week I covered several speed painting hacks to help you get done faster, which perfectly pairs with this topic here, so be sure to watch it. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Join me on Patreon if you want to see me paint this bust. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.